Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, and I want to talk about Ape Always Follows Strongest Branch from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So I am a huge fan of Matt Reeves' Planet of the Apes trilogy, right? So Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War on the Planet of the Apes. And in the second film, these movies are old, but still spoilers. Um, so basically, what's really fascinating to me is in the second film, there's this. It's beautiful and haunting. This story between Caesar and Koba. Koba is like human work, human work, human work. I'll never forget those lines. It's so powerful, right? But Koba is this ape who was experimented on in medical trials, right? Literally by the person who took care of Caesar, right? And it was harsh. And Koba became actually the orangutan. The orange orangutan, and I'm forgetting his name right now. Is it Dr. Oz? I think it's Dr. Oz. Yeah. But one of the main advisors to Caesar, the orange orangutan, he says none of us could have known how much darkness was in Koba, but Caesar needs to defeat Koba, right? And Caesar's son says you don't need to fight him. Koba's There's a good chance Koba's physically stronger than you. And Caesar's like, I have to fight him physically, right? I'm a better leader. I'm a better thinker, right? But I have to beat him physically, right? And the reason why is apes always follow strongest branch, right? So right now, and the apes were deciding, do we want this vicious killer Koba to lead us, or do we want this much more patient, more hesitant, more thoughtful Caesar to follow, right? But the reality is they're going to follow whoever won that fight, right? Because apes follow the strongest branch, right? And now we as humans, we have 1 year to decide, exactly 1 year to decide who's going to lead the world, not just America. Like the idea that the American presidency is for Americans is now ludicrous. Our leader determines, if you live in another country, our leader determines your fate. There's no longer a debate. That's not even remotely a debate anymore. President is king or queen of the world. King so far, never been a queen. We'll see if that arrives, right? And what's interesting, ever, and I think we've reached a point where that is becoming increasingly a very large conversation, but it also does seem like there's a long path to that, and we don't really know what that journey is, right? Like I want Vivek Ramaswamy to be elected because I know for a fact you can have a person of color as an American president because it's happened, right? I did it. I helped make it, right? Like twice. I voted for Obama twice. So basically, ape follows strongest branch, right? So what does that mean for us, right? Like what is the strong branch? Well, first of all, let's nobody needs to pretend. Increasingly, if you're voting for Biden or if you're voting for Donald Trump, you're the same voter. You're the same voter. You want the Ward Cleaver wall. You want to make sure that the president is male and ward. It's so important to everyone, right? Like that on both sides. It's just so critically important. And I'm sitting here going, no, the Ward Cleaver wall needs to fall, right? And if you're not for that, you're not a progressive. You are the regressive establishment. And it doesn't matter if you call yourself a Democrat. It doesn't matter if you call yourself a Republican. You're the regressive Democrat, right? If you're voting for another Ward Cleaver and making sure that the Ward Cleaver wall is turned into a Ward Cleaver bulwark that no person of color is ever going to be able to climb over, you're the problem, right? Like, right? So, we give power to people of color by electing them, and it's time to elect another person of color so that we don't say, "Oh my gosh, Obama was a one-off. It was an experiment that failed." It wasn't, right? Like we became more human when we said power is for everyone, right? And now we need to continue that tradition. And there's going to be a champion that comes along and says it's time for women to have a leader, right? And they're going to champion a leader all the way through, right? I don't think Nikki Haley is the right pick, and the reason why is Vivek Ramaswamy is a much better pick right now. Yeah, like that's my take, right? But I will say this right now. I hope there's somebody out there championing Nikki Haley every day the way I champion Vivek Ramaswamy? Is there? If there is, point me to it, because I'd love to see it. I want to know what it looks like. So, ape follows strongest branch. So, what is the strongest branch today, right? So, first of all, we do need to realize that we need somebody who is strong in mind, strong in mind, body, and spirit, right? And so let's look at President Biden. Strong in body. That's my answer, right? No, he's 80 years old. He's not strong in body, right? Like, the question is if he's in a coffin today or not. Like, it's not, like, it's by age, right? That by age, that is a legit, like, if you Google, is President Biden alive? That's a legitimate question every single day at the start of your day, right? Because you die at 80, everybody's sad but not surprised, right? No one's surprised if you die at 80 years old, right? So, not strong in body. Is he strong in mind? Come on. Like, again, that's the answer, right? All right. Is he strong in spirit? That's a good question, right? He claims to be a Christian. The organization he's a Christian through, the church, says you're not, and we don't want anything to do with you. So spiritually, question mark? Strong in mind, strong in body are literally laughter, and strong in spirit is a big question mark, an asterisk, right? Let's look at Donald Trump. Strong in mind? Yes, I think he's still strong in mind. I know the Democrats are like, oh no, he makes mistakes and goofs. No, he's outperforming President Biden by leaps and bounds in the mind part. Strong in body? Never was strong in body. Ever. Not once. Like, and never did I look at, like, Donald Trump and go, oh, that guy's strong. But, like, no, it's not. He's not as strong in body. And he's 80. He's got one foot on a banana peel and another in a coffin. It's where he's at. If you're 80, that's where you're at. Like, it's just, that's, you're far closer to a coffin than you are to anything of life, right? And so he's not strong in body. Is he strong spiritually? Absolutely. I don't laugh. I can't. I would love to laugh at that, but I can't. And the reason why is, if you're not strong in spirit, you go into the hot place, right? Like, so that's not good, right? Like, and so I don't laugh at that, because that is very dark, right? And I want President Trump to become Christian, and I would love to see President Trump in heaven. I definitely love to see President Biden in heaven, right? I don't think I'll see either one of them in heaven, because I don't think either one of them is a Christian, right? And by that I mean they've said the prayer, Lord, I am a sinner. Lord, I need the blood, your blood that you shed on the cross to reconcile me to God. Right? Neither one of them has ever said that and built a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, right? And even that build a personal relationship, well, that will be an extension if you actually believe those words, right? So neither one of them is a real Christian by any stretch by the wildest stretch of the imagination. Neither one of them is a Christian. So where does that leave us, right? Very interesting question, right? So that leaves us looking for a strong branch, right? Biden, body and spirit strong, literally laughter. Body and mind strong, literally laughter. Spirit, question mark, asterisk, right? Body for Trump, no. Mind, yes, he has a strong mind, absolutely. No, even now at 80, right? Until he gets his Mitch McConnell moment. Oh, there you go, right? It was nice speaking sentences, right? Wow. And spirit, absolutely not. Never hasn't been a strong spirit. Like, and not even no Christian worth their salt would ever even consider that he was a Christian, right? So he's not strong spiritually. Let's talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, right? Interesting. Body, yes, strong. Literally, like, professional grade tennis player at one point, can jump over microphone wires. You can send him to a disastrous fight and not worry about him falling over into a pile of nails and dying because he got tetanus or half his bones broken. Body, strong, right? Mind, ridiculously strong, like a freaking steel trap, right? Dude's literally a tech genius, right? Like, yes, strong mind, strong body, strong spirit. Asterisk. person of faith. That's good. Faith in the wrong God. In my humble opinion. He's not even remotely a Christian. I don't think he even claims to be a Christian. People have told me he's Hindu, but I've never heard him say once that he's Hindu, right? So, but I've absolutely heard him talk about God, right? And that fits in my, I know exactly what that person is. Spiritual, but not religious. Like there's a ton of them. Like it's definitely a thing nowadays. So strong mind, strong body, asterisk on the spiritual, right? And I think people of faith, he's going to serve us well, right? Evangelical Christians, I'm not sure he's going to serve us perfectly, but many of those things are going to align with his believing in a God. He is a theist. We are theists. There's a lot of the Venn diagram that crosses. Is he going to be in heaven? Unfortunately not. I don't think, Vivek Ramaswamy, with his current structure with his current structure for salvation, he's not going to be saved, right? And I want to be super clear, right? I roll hard at all these candidates because these guys are trying to be world leaders, right? But I don't want to see any of them in the hot place, right? I would all of them, and you, realize you're a sinner, realize you need the saving grace of Jesus Christ, and that Jesus Christ can reconcile you to God and allow you to be brought up to heaven for eternity, if you ask for salvation. It's that simple, and I'm hoping that all three of these men do that. But ape always follows the strongest branch. Vivek Ramaswamy is the strongest branch. That's logic. It's patterns. We just talked it through. And every single word of that's my humble opinion. I'm looking for your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. That's what's important. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.